he and the Swedes fought endlessly. There was a great victory by the Russians at Poltava in 1709, and this helped Peter's cause. But in this period, he had to go to the front frequently, the war front. He and his friend Menshikov, they went everywhere together. They slept in the same cabin or the same tent and the same bed. They shared the same women. They were together all the time. Well, sometime in 1705 or so, Menshikov brought in a plump, blonde Swede, very appealing and very willing and very friendly. And she was plunked down between the two of them, and of course there was sharing. And pretty soon Menshikov realized that the young lady, her name was Marta Skavronska, was very friendly to Peter, and Peter was reciprocating. And so Menshikov did the sensible thing. He simply turned over, put a pillow on his head, and went to sleep on his side of the bed and left them alone. That's what you do, right? Mm-hmm. And Marta Skavronska became Peter's mistress. They were together for the rest of their lives. She, over the period of 5 or 6 years, would bear him 3 daughters. And they went everywhere together, to the front, to the war front. She was right there with the cannons bursting and everything and everybody dying and the rest of it. They were campaigning in the Polish area on the river Prut in 1709, I guess it was, or 11. And they were surrounded by the Turkish forces. This a complicated history. I've said before, there's a lot in this that I can't talk about. There's just too much, not enough time. So read a book. But the Turkish armies were in that part of Poland, and the Russians were trying to deal with it. And as I say, at this battle at Prut, the Russian high command was surrounded by the Turkish forces, and Peter and Catherine were captured. Very embarrassing to have the head of state captured. But the Turkish commanders were sensible fellows, and Catherine said, if you will just turn your heads and let us escape, I will give you this. And she had her casket, which was a large chest of jewelry that Peter always gave her, the most elaborate jewelry, fabulous stuff. She said, I'll give it all to you. Well, the commanders looked at them and turned their heads, and Peter and Catherine escaped. So Catherine could be very resourceful and useful. In 1712, he married her, made an honest woman of her. Of course, she had to change her name from Marta Екатерина, Catherine. She was always known as Catherine. She had to change her religion from Lutheran to be Orthodox Russian. She did that happily. It didn't mean a thing to her. Neither one of them gave a damn about religion. So they were now happily married, more or less. But there was Eudoxia, that first wife. Yes, I know. All the constipated Christians in Europe said that he was committing adultery and bigamy and all of this nonsense. Peter said, I don't give a damn what the Europeans, they're all baboons anyway. I'll have all the wives I want, and I want Catherine. So we had her. But there was Eudoxia in her convent. But she'd borne him the son that he needed. However, Catherine had just borne a son, the first son and only son she was to bear Peter. They named it Peter. Any sons that Peter would have would be named Peter. And Catherine wanted her son by Peter to be the heir apparent. She did not want Alexei in the game at all. What to